Well, welcome back. It feels like a while since we've seen you. What have you been up to?
Man, just hanging with the family, training as much as possible, and then just prepping for this one.
So I know you guys were supposed to fight a different date, correct?
Yeah, they wanted to do it in Canada. I like Vegas, love Vegas. It's so much easier out here. So we asked if we could do it here, and they said yes.
It was probably going to be really cold in Canada too, right?
That too, that too. Like why not come to Vegas? It's like my third home here, so like let's do it here.
Did you want to fight sooner? Like when you were this layoff that you've had, was it planned? Were you okay with it? Did you want to fight much sooner than today or Saturday?
I think it was more of like I was okay with the layoff. I definitely wanted to obviously build more skill and try to improve on it as much as possible. But I think we told Sean October and then instantly got us to fight in October. So
What did you think when you got the name?
I was excited. This guy, Kyler, he brings it. He's nonstop action. These type of guys, there's more opportunities to counter, more opportunity to get finishes, and they're not necessarily like a boring fight at all.
We kept trying to ask him if he thought this was going to be a 3-round bloody brawl.
Yeah.
And he did not want to say yes. He didn't say no, but he didn't want to say yes. Do you think is that something that you're anticipating? Because I think that's what the fans anticipate.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm with them. I hope I don't, leave this place bloodied up and, on the stretcher again and going back to the hospital. But if it has to come down to it, I'm the guy for it. I will get in there and do what I have to do to try to get the W, try to get the finish. But in a perfect world, I get in there and leave as clean as possible.
How do you think the two of you match up?
I think this is a great matchup. I think this is a fight of the night for sure. Like I said, he brings it. He starts off fast. I believe I start off fast as well. He has a wild kicking style. He's he'll pull guard and try to jump on submissions. He seems like a lifelong martial artist, like one of those kids that's been in the gym since he was like 3. So karate background, jiu-jitsu background. And he's fighting tough guys. He just beat Pedro Munoz. So this is another tough fight. I did an interview yesterday, and I was like, this is he might not have the ranking or the big name yet, but this is just as dangerous a fight as anybody else I fought.
Is there any extra pressure going into this fight, coming off some losses and knowing you got to prove something and, like you said, coming in against a really tough guy?
Yes and no. I feel like I'm always, it sucks. I feel like I'm always in this kind of spot where I got to like remind everybody, and I kind of, I've lost 2 in a row. Definitely don't want to lose 3 in a row, but yeah, there's definitely pressure in coming off of 2 fights, losing streak against. But then if you look at who I'm fighting, it's like it's tough, man. It's like this is the hardest fucking sport in the world, So it's kind of like but I do gotta put together a couple and stay consistent,
And just something a little off topic. Last night, Dana White said he wanted to remove the media from the rankings. He thinks there needs to be an overhaul with the rankings. What do you think of the rankings? Do you think that they're pointless at this point? Do you think that they maybe potentially could be revamped?
Yeah, I think they could. I'm not complaining. I'm still in the top 10, so like, hey, I'm not complaining. But I guess when it comes down to it, it's with like injuries and the way this sport is, like you could, like I can go out there, knock out Kyler, and depending on how the lineup is, I could get, I could just jump, ahead of a bunch of people as far as like whatever, depending on what they need. So it's like, I don't know necessarily, do we need the rankings? Like obviously yes and no, but yeah, I don't know, man. Like it's tough because like it's. I guess when it comes down to the business side of it too, like it doesn't really mean much.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah.
You kind of touched on it a little bit there when talking about the rankings. Kyler, when he looks at you, you're the guy that's sitting on the top 10 that's ahead of him. What's in it for you? Besides, obviously holding the spot, but there's, like you said, there's a lot of danger fighting the guy that's behind you. But what's in it for you to get a nice win on this one?
Yeah, for me, it's getting back into the win column. I feel like I fought almost everybody in the top 10 anyway. So like, there's not too many matchups I can get without being a rematch, you know. And then, you know, like putting on exciting fights for the fans, and I think I'm the guy to do that. Obviously, he's not ranked ahead of me. A win over him doesn't do that much, but it does a lot for me, you know.
I know definitely when we see you go out there and leave it all on the line, it's definitely earns a lot of our respect, but I'm sure the people watching have a lot of respect too. Do fans ever stop you on the street sometime and say, dude, that fight with you against so-and-so was just crazy?
Yeah. You know, it does, you know, it is kind of cool to hear it. It sucks because you're talking about a loss, you know, or like you're getting beat up, and it's like a reminder of that. But like it is like, you know, like it doesn't feel that bad when you see that smile, or you motivated them to get into the gym, or you help them through whatever they might be going through, to kind of like, man, watching you go to war, you know, help me with X, Y, and Z. So it is pretty cool.
Do you pay attention to the odds makers? Is that something you look at, or you just don't even pay attention? For some reason, I mean, while you are still ranked ahead of them, just one of the odds makers I'm looking at right here has him as a pretty heavy favorite. Do you look at that sort of stuff? Does that fire you up, or do you not even think about that sort of stuff?
I mean, you know, obviously, like, you know, like I'm coming off of 2 losses. He's probably, I think, 4 in a row or 3 in a row. You know, I don't blame them. You know, obviously, I get it, but I'm gonna make a lot of people some money after I shock whoever wrote that up.
Because I think you're right. I think they probably do tend to have a recency bias, where they just look at what somebody's been, as opposed to maybe who you've been fighting against. Because in terms of the talent of who you fought, has he fought anybody even close to the guys that you went through?
Yeah, I would say yeah. You know, he's in there with Munoz. He fought Song Yadong. You know, so he's fought some talent. You know, he's looking impressive in some of these wins. You know, yeah. You know, when they told me that fight, like I was like, all right, let's go, because this is going to be a tough fight. He's going to bring it. He's like I said, he's super creative, and he's willing to sit there and look for finishes, and you know, you might not get him all the time, but you can tell he's looking for it. He's trying to set him up, and obviously he's training with a solid squad. There's a bunch of killers in that gym he's with, so like I'm not taking him lightly at all.
And I know that you wish the UFC would give you some easy ones and there's some cans, but like you said sometimes you feel like you have to go out there and prove yourself again and remind people of your greatness. Is there a point of view that you enjoy that, though? You sort of enjoy reminding people and getting the comments after the fact, like, oh, like, y'all forgot me.
Yeah. I feel like this feels similar to when I fought Adrian Yanez. You know, unfortunately, I lost 2 in a row. Then I fought him. Got a big win, and then lost another 2 in a row, and obviously I'm back with another unranked fighter that's super dangerous. So it has that feeling, and then like yeah, it just gets me up, gets me ready to go, and then like I know you know, with a big win, a big finish, you know, the headlines would be different, the comments would be different. Like, so I just got to go out there and do my job and do what I know I can do.
You know, just looking at some of the names that you went through, you know, you speak of before the Yanez, you had Marlon Vera, before that Jose Aldo. I want to get your thoughts on Aldo coming back out of retirement and jumping back in the game and still looking really good. What do you think?
He's sharp, man. He's sharp. He's good. He's motivating. He's a reminder that, you know, if you do it right, do it smart, you can push this as long as you want to, you know. And yeah, just that last one's kind of like, God, you know, it's like, I don't know. I kind of gave it to him, man. I don't know. I kind of gave him that win. But obviously, Mario did what he had to do to get the W, but I know what he felt in there. That guy can hit, so I know like why he kept him on the cage. I understand why he was looking for the takedown the whole time, because he's so explosive, and it's like I'm like, I get it. I get why he's holding him on the cage, you know.
Yeah. Last for me, your keys to the victory. What needs to happen to make sure you get your arm raised on Saturday? I
just got to be smart. I got to be aggressive and just let it flow, you know. But a guy like that, like, there's going to be opportunities to counter, and I plan on countering and making him pay and getting my hand raised. Thank you.